Hello friends, in this tutorial we will study very important concepts of TypeScript like classes, how we can create a class in TypeScript and how we can create object of the class. Then we will see inheritance, method overriding, and finally we will see a static keyword in TypeScript. Let's start with first concept, which is a class. Basically a class is a blueprint, or we can see it's a structure to create a object of that class. As we studied earlier, TypeScript is a object oriented language. Or we can say object oriented JavaScript. So if it is object oriented JavaScript, then we have a concept of classes, interfaces, and inheritance, like other programming languages which are object oriented. In terms of object-oriented programming, we can say a class is a blueprint for creating objects from this class. Basically, a class encapsulates data for the object of this class. In TypeScript, we have this support for the classes, and syntax of the class is very simple, just like Java. And in class, we have fields, constructors, and functions as well. So let's create our first class, which is a student class. To create a class in TypeScript, we need a keyword which is class, and then name of the class. We are creating a class of student, then we have a body of this class into this curly braces. So we can create multiple fields in this class. Basically, uh, a, a field is a variable that we declare in this class, and fields are used to store data of this object of the class. So we create our first field in this class, which is name, and its data type is a string. This is our first field. Secondly, we can create a constructor in this class. We need to change we need to delete this JS file, because we already have actually we were typing our things in a JS file. We need to write our things into a TS file. So I am creating a class over here, and its name is student, and here we have a property and or field, and its data type is string. Okay, then we have a constructor, and we just removing all these things over here. And second, we have a constructor in this class. To create a constructor in this class, we need a special keyword which is constructor, and then body of this constructor. We can say a constructor is a special function of the class, and responsibility of this function is to initialize the variables in this class. In TypeScript, we use constructor as a keyword to create a constructor. As I said earlier, constructor is a function, a special type of a function. So if it is a function, we can pass parameters to the constructor. So let's take a single parameter we are passing to this constructor, which is name, and its data type is string. Okay. Now we can we should take variable name over here. So I can assign this name value to this variable name. So to access this name, we need to use a keyword this dot name equal to name, and this basically this name is this name passed from the where we will call our create student object, and press the enter. Basically this keyword refers to the current instance of this student class. To avoid ambiguity, I have used this keyword with this variable. So this is a constructor. Now we can create functions in this class. Basically functions represent the actions an object can perform or can take. So functions, we will write a function, and the name of the function is display, and return type of this function is void, means it will not return anything. And this is body of this function. We are just printing a name of the student in this function, and this dot name. Okay. After this class body, we can create object of this class. So we can create object of this class equal to we use new keyword to initialize for initialization of a new object, or we can say creation of the uh, a new object. So we use new and then name of the class, which is student, and that's it. So as you can see, we have declared a constructor which is taking one parameter as input. So we need to pass one argument to this constructor. So I pass a name of the student is Marshad. So right side of this variable will call this constructor, and value passed to this constructor will be saved in this variable. And when we will call this display function using the student object dot display, this will print Marshad on the terminal. So compile your app.ts file and then run your JavaScript file, and you will see Marshad printed over here. So this is all about classes. Now we learn the second concept, which is inheritance. This is a object oriented concept. So TypeScript supports the concept of inheritance. Basically, inheritance is the ability of a program to create new classes from an existing class. The class that is extended to create newer class is called the parent class, or we can say superclass. The newly created classes are called child classes or subclasses of the parent class. Basically, a class inherits from another class using the extends keyword. When we want to extend functionality of the parent class, we use extends keyword with the child class. And child classes inherits all the properties and functions of the parent class except private members and constructors of the parent class. The very important point is TypeScript does not support multiple inheritance. So let's take a very simple example to understand inheritance in TypeScript. So here we have a class which is a student class, and in student class we have a name of the student. I am removing this constructor, but take it over here and create another class. This is our student class. This is the constructor, and this is the display method of this student class. Now let's create another class which is we can copy paste over here, and let's suppose this is IT student, and this IT student class extend mostly we use extends keyword to make this class as a child class of this student class. Extends student class. Okay, so this basically this IT student class will become the child class, and student class will become the parent class of this IT student class. Now we need to display. I am removing the constructor, and here we have only a single display method over here. Its return type is void, and here I am using the property which is name, and I am also removing the name property over here. So here you can see here we have a display method. Here we also have a display method, and I am not printing anything over here in the parent class. Okay, so that's it. I'm also removing this display method from the parent class. So that's it. Here you can see we have a display method. Its return type is void. So as you can see, this name property or field is not declared in this IT student class, and this dot name means this name property is coming from the parent class which is the student. So this name field is inherited from the parent class which is the student class. Now we can use this class, create the object of the student class when we will call student dot display method. It will uh, display the value which is passed over this constructor which is name. We are getting error over here. Property display does not exist on the type student. In this class we don't have display property, but we need to create object of the child class over here. That's it. Okay. Now, when we call this display function, this function of IT class will be called, and in this function we are just printing name of the student, but this name property or field is inherited from the parent class, which is student class. So compile your code app.ts and run your JavaScript file app.ts.js. It will print immersion, and basically this immersion is inherited from parent class, which is student class. Now we study the third concept, which is method overriding. So basically, method overriding is a mechanism by which the child class redefines the super or parent class method. When we declare the same method in child class, which is already present in the parent class, this is called method overriding. When we call the method from child class object, the child class version of the method is called. Parent class method is called by super keyword. For example, if we want to call the parent class method which is also exists in the child class, then we need to use super keyword with the parent class method. So let's we have this parent class which is student class, and in this student class we have this display method. Write it over here, and in this method we are just printing, hi, this is parent class. Okay, then we have I am removing this constructor to make it, and also removing this property from student class. Okay, now in child class which is IT student class, we have the same method which is display, and return type is also same, and in this class I am just printing child class function. Okay, and in this child class function display, I want to call parent class display function. So if I want to call this display function of the parent, I need to use a super keyword and then name of the function, and which is display. Okay, and then I have a print statement, and here we create a object of IT student, and IT student dot display, I am calling display method of this child class. This child class method first will call the display method of the parent class. This is the parent class, and first, hi, this is parent class will be printed on the terminal, and secondly child class function will be printed on our terminal console. So let's start and compile our app.ts file, then run your app.js file, and you will see hi, this is parent class printed first, and secondly child class function printed over here. So in this two classes, display function is overridden here. So this is all about inheritance and method overriding in TypeScript. Now we have our last concept, which is a static keyword. Okay, yeah, or we can say static variables. Basically, a static keyword can be used with data members of a class, or we can use static with the functions. Static variable retain its values till the program finishes its execution. Basically, static members belong to the class instead of a specific instance of the specific instance of the class. This means if you make a member static in your class, you can access it by class name without creating object of that class. Let's take example of the static member. If you want to declare a static member in your class, you need a keyword static, then name of the variable, which is let's suppose number, and data type of the this member. That's it. Now if you want to access this static variable which is declared inside the student class, we can initialize it with 20. Simply, you don't need to create object of this class. You can use only class name, and that's it. Dot name of the variable or field. You can print it over here and place it over here. Compile your app.ts file and then run your JavaScript file, and you will see 20 is printed over here. So this was a static fields, or you can use static with the methods of the student class. That's it for today. In next tutorial we will learn some other concepts of TypeScript. Thank you so much.